Whoa, so I evidently forgot to save something, and I decided I was going to go back and redo it, but I was going to do it while I was recording, just in the off chance it helps someone, although there's much better videos out there on how to play with this. I figure I'm doing it, I might as well go ahead and play with it. So, for those who don't know, this is an application called Beacon. I have the paid version. It's $15. It's a one-time purchase, and it is the ultimate Arc server management configuration tool. One of their newer features that they have is called config sets. Okay, so what config sets are is they're a way to have multiple servers that control all the settings from all of them from one profile. So in order to do that, first you would import your servers, which I have two. I have a Genesis 2 and I have the Island. Okay. Importing it is, it's a matter of who your host is, but essentially at that point, what these config sets do is it would allow me to have loot drops configured and custom configuration and creature spawns or anything else I want to edit, either the same for all servers or different between them based on my personal preference. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to say manage config sets, and I'm going to add one for the island. And I'm going to add another one for Genesis 2. Okay, from there I now have three config sets. I have base, Genesis 2, and the island. The first thing I need to do is I need to define to my servers which base set I want it to look at. So it's always going to look at base, and then if I choose Genesis, anything in this Genesis config would take precedence over base. So it would have everything in base and then everything on Genesis on top of it. So if they're conflicting, Genesis would take the lead. It'd do the same thing for the island. Okay, so I have that set, base and island, base and Genesis 2. Right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have both maps checked off that I have them, which I do. Look at mods. I have engrams and creatures from all mods enabled. Mods is in expansions on this screen, but also you can add certain mods that are pre-built into the Beacon, which, by the way, anyone can add their mod to Beacon. It's very simple to do. Anyhow, from that point on, I have a series of drops here I've configured for the island, and most of them are specific to the island only. I do have some that could be universal to multiple maps. That would be like a beaver dam, tier 1 loot crate, and these dinos. The loot crate especially is interesting because Genesis has used the loot crates a lot more. The island doesn't use them at all. I've added them to drops. So anyhow, I don't want any of this stuff to ever show up on Genesis because this is all for the island. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all this stuff. And I'm going to cut it. Then I'm going to go to the base config for the island. And now I'm going to paste it. Now, everything that I've done drop-wise, as I'm in config set island, will only apply to the island server based on the main configuration, which evidently is only listed from base right here. So again, the island and base. So Now, there's no drops listed here at all. I would also like to go back to the island, and I have some creature spawn adjustments I made on the base config rather. And I had gotten rid of these dinos, and I had played with these a little bit. Now, the chances of these specific locations being in Genesis 2 as named is not very likely. But these creatures may be on Genesis. And I don't really want to disable anything on Genesis right now. I want it to be as intended vanilla because it's brand new and I want to see it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and cut these. And go back to the island. Paste them. Same thing with creature spawns. I want vanilla. I'm going to do this. Cut. And paste. Back to base config. I have special breeding multipliers. I think I want those on both servers. I have difficulty settings. I think I want Genesis to be a little tougher than the island. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave difficulty like this in case I add another map. But I'm going to go into Genesis now. I'm going to say actually I want maximum level to be 200 on Genesis. So now Genesis 2 based on again the big set here. Vanilla would be a base config from this menu, but Genesis 2 will override it. So now Genesis 2 will provide maximum level 200 dinos instead of the 160 I have on the island. It's very powerful. You can also modify your custom config per map if you so desire. So let's say I want to make so one of these mods does something different on Genesis than it does there. So I could say, well, on Genesis, I want to have the babies grow faster than they do on the island. So again, I can go into Genesis 2 and I could paste this. And I could say I want them to grow 3 times faster because they're whizzing through space and they're getting radioactive ions bombarding them and it's making them grow faster, or for whatever reason you want to justify. So bam, now baby growth multiplier inside of the Dino storage terminal is now triple. If you're not familiar with Dino storage 2, might want to check that out too. It's a mod, it's for Steam or Epic version, and it pretty much takes cryopods and reinvents them into a much more useful and powerful thing, including the ability to automate you can use dung beetles to convert poop into fertilizer and then automatically apply it to crop plots. You can, if you have a mod that has mammals that generate milk, it will generate the milk for you. If you want egg generation, you can have it egg generation. You can have it take care of your babies for you. You can have it make your babies level grow faster and imprint them, or you can set it where it doesn't do that at all. It's very customizable, and I certainly recommend checking it out. So anyhow, hopefully maybe someone has some kind of interest in this. Oh yeah, the other thing is if you're on a custom config, all these windows still exist, but they only apply if there's a little X here. So you don't have to worry about editing everything for every server. Only if it has the X is where a change is going to be. So maybe that helps someone. Just a brief overview. The Discord is very helpful. The guy TechWar is awesome. All the members are awesome. Very friendly community, very helpful community, and I recommend it. And it is well worth the $15. So go on to beaconapp.cc and you can go to buy. You can buy it for 15 US dollars. It is not a monthly charge. It is yours after that, and it has continual improvement. Guys always add new stuff. Genesis 2 is in there already. Guys always working on new features, and it's a great piece of software. And if you haven't really wanted to try to understand inside and out what all of the INI settings do and how they work, especially on the more complex ones like loot drops. There's a lot of stuff here on the server config page. You don't have to understand all of it. Now, some Beacon doesn't take care of everything. It takes care of things that are not straightforward. So the more straightforward things, such as allow cave building, this type of thing, it doesn't really cover that yet. It sounds like maybe he was going to start implementing some more of this kind of easier stuff, but at this time he said he's focusing all his efforts on things that are not easy to accomplish, which is respectable. So check it out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you and take care.